Hello, I'm James and welcome back to Black Dice Gaming. We've got another painting tutorial for you, and this time we are painting Freyr, the blue dragon from Dungeons and Lasers. Here she is, just in all of her glory. So what I've done is I've just done a sped up version video of me painting it, and then narrated over the top. So hopefully you'll find it useful, maybe pick up some tips, or indeed if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration, you can do the opposite of what I've done, whatever's best for you. But hope you enjoy, and hopefully I shall catch you in the next one. Hello, so let's start off with our first colour. So the first one we used was Talisar Blue, the contrast paint. What we're doing here, we're just going to cover the top half of the dragon. So you be careful here, because the underside of the dragon is going to be white and its wing membranes are going to be yellow, so that would be very problematic if we got the blue anywhere else other than the areas that we want blue. So we're mainly concentrating on the top half of the body, all down the back of its scales to the tip of its wing, and the top half of its face as well. So we're also colouring in the wing parts that are not the membranes, so the arm sort of sections of the dragon. Moving on now, and we're going to be using Apothecary White, and we're just going to colour the underside of the dragon now. So all the bits that we haven't done so far, we're going to use the white here. This does tend to go a little bit grey white, but it's perfect really for not being perfectly white. You don't want it perfectly white. Doing the underside of the mouth there, so its head should be blue and white underneath. Again, just being very careful not to get it on any of the other areas that we're going to be painting. We're not going to be using a lot of dry brushing on this one, so we're going to try and be as neat as we can for the majority of the model. You can decide where you want to cut off on the arms. I just decided that seemed like the best place for me, but you could take the blue all the way down to the talons if you wanted to. As you can see, there's quite a bit that needs doing in the white, so just slowly take your time and progress on through the model. And now we're on to our third contrast paint. For this we used Bad Moon Yellow contrast paint. Yellow is notoriously bad for coverage. So when I was undercoating this, I did do a slightly heavier white dry brush, just to try and make that yellow a little bit more vibrant. But it probably could have done with popping up another level or two. Also, if you do catch the blue here, it tends to merge into a bit of a green. So the yellow and the blue obviously making green, and because these are contrast paints, if they do touch each other, they do turn a little green. I didn't mind the effect, but if you don't want that on yours, then just be careful when you are covering up with the yellow. We're obviously going to do both sides of the wing, the top and the underneath, in this yellow. There are ridges down its back and along its belly. I also did those in the yellow as well. Okay, so fast forwarding, here I'm doing a basilicanum grey on all the stonework underneath. It was a relatively simple base, it's just stones. So you can do your own stone recipe, or indeed follow mine, which was just basilicanum grey with a light dry brush of dawnstone I think I used in the end, but we'll double check later on in the video. So here I'm just putting an Agrex Earthshade on the horns. Because the lightness of the blue and the yellow and the white, I've decided to do the horns a little bit darker as opposed to the usual sort of skeleton horde contrast. So it's just a wash with some Agrex Earthshade. I think I also picked out the teeth at this point as well in the same. So here I'm using Temple Guard Blue, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going in and just picking up some of the highlights, especially on its face and down its back and along the arms of the wings. Now, you don't have to go too overboard with this, but it's just nice to add these little touches just to bring it out. I have a couple of variations of the blue, especially around the face and the neck area where it's going to hit the light, or the light's going to hit the model, just to give that sort of highlight sort of feeling to it. Nothing too over the top, but it does make a world of a difference just to have that extra level of blue. A good thing about these models is it's quite easy to see the ridges. It does make them stand out quite a lot, so it's very easy to detect where that blue should be and what parts of the model do need that highlight stage. Also, just colouring in here the spines in between the ridges on its back, those frills that we painted in yellow do have spines on them, and at this stage I'm just picking them out in blue. Just breaks the colour up and gives it a little bit more definition. You can do as much of this or as little of this as you want, it's entirely up to you. So here I'm just picking out the eye, and for that I used Uriel Yellow. It's usually my go-to colour. We're just dotting in the eye there. And now we're just picking out the fingernails. For that I used Black Templar contrast pen. Just go around, pick the claws out. It does stand out quite well against the white. And it's a nice little finishing touch. And just picking out the rim of the base now in Abaddon Black. And that's pretty much it for the entire model. If you do enjoy what you see, then please like and subscribe. And there's plenty more coming, so hopefully I shall catch you in the next one. Take care.